Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk all about farming, specifically livestock farming in Zimbabwe. Today we are back again about something that has caused so much debate in the Zimbabwe's livestock space, roadrunner farming. Some love it and some truly hate it. Why? Why does roadrunner chicken farming bring so much frustration, disappointment, and anger? And also, what are the 5 common mistakes many Zimbabwean farmers make that end up destroying their profits in roadrunner farming? Let's unpack this. So, why do people hate roadrunner farming? People don't just hate roadrunner farming themselves, they hate the results they get. Here are 5 main reasons why people hate the results they get in roadrunner farming. People were sold a dream. So when roadrunner farming became trendy and many people were promoting it, everyone was told just buy 30 hens and 3 roosters and we make 400 a month without doing anything, without even putting a lot of work. So this is not true. This expectation created a bubble. And when reality finally hit, frustration comes. Reason number 2 is that roadrunners are not fast cash. Broilers are fast cash, they have short cycles, and they grow very rapidly, such that within 4 to 5 weeks, you are already on the market selling your broilers. But roadrunners are not. Roadrunners grow very slowly. They take time to mature, and also it's important that you understand their markets build up and they take time to build up. So a farmer expecting a weekly cash flow like broilers gets disappointed in roadrunner farming business. Reason number 3 is that the cost of feed is a total shock to many. A real roadrunner is a scavenger, but the modern semi-intensive roadrunners we are having nowadays in our production system, they actually require feeding for faster growth and also for egg production. People who imagined only free-range bird types without supplementing feed, they end up with very weak standard birds and even poor egg production, and they concluded that roadrunners don't pay. Reason number 4, fake breeds in the market. This is one of the biggest reasons that has also clouded judgment within this industry. So Zimbabwe is full of mixed breeds labeled as roadrunner. Someone sells you a cross between a layer and even a bushveld, and it calls it roadrunner. Someone can also even sell you an inferior type of cross and then label it it's a hybrid and even called it indigenous, yet is a poor quality breed. So if you feed a bird that is genetically inferior, that is genetically not designed for indigenous production, and the results are very clear, it will perform very terribly. So many people hate roadrunner farming not because the business is bad, but because they started with a lie. They started based with a wrong breed, and as a result, they end up getting wrong results. Reason number 5, farmers try to copy each other of running a system. So this is one of the challenging thing when it comes to livestock farming in Zimbabwe. So one person sees his friend making money doing this roadrunner thing, and they end up copying the business, but not the whole system. And at the same time, maybe someone can see someone's success story on Facebook and tries to copy it without fully understanding the science behind it, without fully understanding the stocking density, the feed formulation, the vaccination schedule, and even the market segmentation, which is very critical. Then it's very important that as farmers we understand that success in roadrunners comes from a system and not just from keeping the birds. It's a system, it's a whole ecosystem of the market, a whole ecosystem of production, a whole ecosystem of getting the right breed. Now let's also look at another thing that is affecting the industry. So in Zimbabwe we have the identity problem. What is really a roadrunner in Zimbabwe? So let's be honest about this. In Zimbabwe today, roadrunner simply means any chicken that is not a broiler. But is this the correct definition? So this definition needs to be revised, and we need to understand what really is a roadrunner. That is not just a breed. It could be a bushveld, it could be a vendor chicken or a naked chicken, and even a pure village chicken mix, a mix of various breeds which are simply not. So, this has led to some differences in terms of production. So we need to understand what really is a roadrunner, and also we need to come together and define the correct standard for defining a roadrunner. When we talk about roadrunner, are we talking about those village type chickens which are quite resilient and also adaptable to the local environment? Or are we talking about those improved breed types of chickens, such as the Boschveld, such as the black astrolop, which are also more developed? So it's very important that we understand which one are we talking about. So at the end of the day, you cannot blame the business model if you start with poor genetics. So when farmers say roadrunners don't pay, many times they are feeding the poor genetics, expecting a better return from them. So this is like blaming a dairy farming when you were milking beef cows. So it's very important that you understand what you are doing. You understand the genetics. The genetics is very essential when it comes to livestock farming. Now, let's also talk about some of the common pitfalls roadrunners farmers face in this industry. So, let's go deep into these 5 common pitfalls that make farmers crash, especially the new farmers that join in this business without the fundamentals, without understanding the business, by just copying others. So, most farmers start roadrunner farming with this formula: buy chicks, raise them, then look for the market. This is backwards. You must start by having a buyer first. Ask yourself, who will buy my eggs when you produce eggs? Who will buy my 3 month growers? Who will buy my 6 month cocks? Who will buy my hens at the point of lay? Who will buy my chickens and consume them? These are the key important questions you should ask yourself before you even start acquiring these birds. Ask these questions and have a well defined answers for these questions. Different markets pay different money. Understand that some people prefer to be in the breeding space because they sell high value breeds to others. Some people prefer to sell to the end user or to the consumers because it's also the easy entry point there. So if you produce without knowing your market, you become stuck with the birds, and also these birds are consuming a lot of feed. At the same time, you don't have a proper knowledge to take care of these birds. So good farmers sell before they produce. This is the trick we have to understand as Zimbabweans who are interested in livestock production. Let's understand the market first before we start production. Pitfall number 2 is underfeeding, thinking roadrunners should survive on maize only. So, maize is an energy source, it's not a protein source. If you feed only maize grains, it means you are going to have a low growth rate, you are going to have low egg production, you are going to have poor fertility, you are going to have poor hatchability. So these are all the consequences of not feeding correctly. You need to identify, and also you need to understand that you must have a protein source. You need to have soya meal, or you need to have sunflower cake or sunflower meal. You also need to have other sources of supplements. For instance, commercial feeds to supplement your diet. Roadrunners need balanced nutrition, just like broilers. They require these only in lower density. So understand feed, because feed cost is one of the huge costs when it comes to livestock production. If you don't understand feed cost in any livestock production, you are not going to be successful. It's a miracle if you become successful in this danger if you don't understand the feed. Roadrunners need this balanced nutrition. Think around that and also understand how you reduce this cost of production. This is the major cost of production when it comes to livestock production. Feed is not just a cost, but it is an investment into your enterprise. Pitfall number 3 is no vaccination program. So we know that majority of our farmers don't vaccinate their birds. They don't think about vaccination and even health programs or defining health standards they have to follow. But once a disease comes, it wipes out your whole stock and you go back to zero. Most farmers believe that roadrunners are naturally strong. Yes, they are hardy, they are adaptable to the natural environment, but if they are living in an intensive system that is confining them, it means they are at risk, because in most cases they might be overcrowded. In most cases, they are fed while they are only in one place. So if a disease such as a Newcastle comes, it will destroy you in one go. If Firepox comes, it will destroy you. If coccidiosis strikes, it can wipe out your flock. So vaccination is schedule is very important, and it should be simple and affordable. But farmers ignore it. I don't know what the challenge is, But seek first knowledge, then you will engage in production. Then you also have to understand that these cheap mistakes have very expensive consequences. You'll be wiped out of your whole stock and will be out of business in no time. Pitfall number 4 is using a mixed edge system without management. So this is also one of the challenges that kills the business of many farmers when it comes to roadrunner farming. So people usually keep chicks, growers, and even the hens all together. The result is there is going to be high disease transmission and also even competition for feed, and as well as bullying, stress, and also poor egg production. Professional farmers use a proper grouping. They have a properly labeled or properly segmented brooding section, grower section, and breeding section. Roadrunners succeed with structure. So determine the structure that works for you. Determine the structure that is applicable in your production system that you can maintain the cost of that structure. Pitfall number 5 is keeping birds with no production target or without any data. The rule of thumb is you cannot improve on what you don't know. And if you don't record or keep records, you are not going to know where you are getting it wrong and you are not going to improve. So most people just feed and hope, no records, without records of feed intake, without records of egg production, age rate, or even mortality, or even sales. So if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. A simple notebook can change everything. It can change your perspective. It can also change how you approach your management. So, in conclusion, why do people really hate roadrunner farming? To be honest, it's important that we understand our production systems. Our production system in Zimbabwe is very complex because we are managing a lot of things at one time. We are managing production, we are managing communication as well as transportation of products to the market. You are managing marketing itself, whereby you are finding the market and supplying that marketing. You're managing the record keeping, whereby you have to understand the record keeping and you have to understand what you have to put into the business. So it's a complex environment. But a majority of the people hate road running because they start without putting the whole plan in place. It's also important that you recognize that this kind of business, such as road runners, such as goats, such as maybe goats and road runners, they are side hustles of the business, of the main business on your farm. Usually, as a farmer, we have to be diversified, having 3 or 4 enterprises with one enterprise, which is the major enterprise. And these business, such as road runners and even goats, they come in to support your major enterprise. So think about it as a side hustle of your main hustle. So it's important if you take this as a sole business, you are going to face a huge challenge in this kind of enterprise. But also think about it that you have to approach roadrunner farming as a business with proper genetics, understand the genetics, which is key, with the proper feeding, minimize your feed cost as much as possible, as well as proper vaccination, whereby you monitor the health of these birds from time to time. Then also think about your market, target an available market. You supply consistently to that available market. Don't just start farming without a market. And also do record keeping. If you do all these practices, you are mainly going to be successful in road run farming. This is not a get rich quick model. This is a slow build up, high margin, sustainable production system. So instead of hating on roadrunner broiler farming, understand it, adopt, and also make it work for you and also applicable to your production system. Thank you for listening. If you find this video interesting, please subscribe, like, share, and also comment below for your thoughts.